So, I've got to say, these first impressions are keeping me busy. We've got a lot of new releases coming. Pretty strong, you know, it's usually one of those things where once it hits, they hit all at once. Today we have the new Stronger With You Only by Emporio Armani. So I have to admit, I really wasn't expecting this. You know, we left off with Stronger With You Absolutely, which, by the way, is still kind of challenging to get in the United States, but we're getting another one, right? And I guess there was also Stronger With You Leather, Leather Limited Edition or whatever. So when you look at this one online, it kind of looks to be a fresher version, but we already have a fresh version in the line. And of course, that would be Stronger With You Freeze in the gorgeous frosted glass bottle, might I add. I love frosted glass, always thinks it looks sharp. So, you know, we're going to compare it to this one. We're going to see how it holds up. I mean, you know, it maybe doesn't look good. Maybe this one's on the chopping block and they wanted to go a different direction. Although, you know, when you hear Stronger With You Freeze, you know it's going to be fresher. When you hear Stronger With You Only, you really don't know that for sure. So I wouldn't think that they would replace it, you know, because the name for this one works better if they are going for fresher. So, you know, I guess we have nothing else to do but to crack into it and see what it's all about. Okay, so here we go. Stronger With You Only. Like the coloration, looks nice, has a very light tint to it. And as you can tell, even when you look at the frosted glass version, the juice inside is much darker. So everything leads to a lighter scent, even the note breakdown, which we'll cover in a second. But before we get there, let's get it on skin. Always impressed with the atomizers on these. Okay, here we go. It puts out a lot of juice. I mean, it's a good atomizer. It's not pressurized, but it's still good. So, I like it. Ooh, I actually like that a lot. Oh, okay. So, I wasn't expecting this. A bunch of chestnut. Right there, front and center. And I love the chestnut note, by the way. You know, this is going to be kind of to each their own type of thing, because some people could do away with that note. They could be indifferent to it. For me, what kicked me off with the chestnut note was Replica by the Fireplace. That one utilizes it heavily. And then Stronger With You, the original, came out. They did away with it intensely, and they brought it back in Absolutely. But it's there, it's punchy, it's strong. This has, dare I say, it has a nutty smell to it. Okay, and there's gourmand aspects as well. A nice vanillic, creamy sweetness, a little bit of a syrupy vanilla. Oh man, this is spectacular. We'll take a look at the note breakdown here. Up top we have grapefruit, in the mid we have lavender and geranium, in the base we have vanilla, chestnut, and labdanum. So definitely much more than a standard 3-note note breakdown that a lot of brands are going to. So it's good to see that they're giving us some more, right? Even though we all know that those other fragrances have more than 3. But I mean, this is really, really nice, you know? Right off the top there, I did get hit with that grapefruit note. So it gave it a nice kind of bright pop, a nice fresh opening, little bit of a kind of sour touch as well. But I mean, within seconds, probably 5 seconds or so, immediately the chestnut rose to the surface, you know. Grapefruit was still there, giving off a bright balance, but I mean, it was coming through strong, giving off a sweetness, kind of a richness. There's kind of hints of like woods in here as well, almost like a creamy sandalwood, even though they don't have that listed. It's quite a bit different than Freeze for sure. So, you know, that's what I was initially thinking it was going to be the replacement of, is Freeze, right? Because it looks fresher. But Freeze is much more citric, much more vibrant up top. Freeze probably still isn't your typical summertime scent because it still has more sweetness than most. And Only has even more sweetness than that. So I wouldn't think that this would be a replacement to Freeze like I initially thought, which, to be fair, I'm kind of happy about because I still like Freeze. I don't want to see that one go, and this one definitely isn't a direct replacement to that. Let's break out the old bottle of, if I can find it, the original Stronger With You. This is a 150 milliliter bottle right here. Let's spray it up in the air, and we'll see. See, you know, between the two, even only is still different, because here's the thing. When you take a look at the original and intensely, especially those two, they have more of a bubblegummy sweetness to some extent. Kind of more of a modernized, trendy tonka bean sweetness, you know, that sort of thing. With only, you know, the new one right here, I'm not getting that. So I'm legitimately getting chestnut. I'm getting a nice sweet vanilla, that grapefruit off the top. But then the third note is this nice creamy labdanum or iris mixture coming through. That smells very nice. It's silky, it's smooth, it's decadent. It's very well done. And I have to say again, I was not expecting this here. I was expecting this one to be a little bit kind of boring, maybe monotonous or something, right? I was just expecting fresher, no big deal, whatever. But it's more than that. And this is another thing where the note breakdown may lead you to think the same way, but when you actually smell it and you get it on skin, there's more going on here. It's kind of like Givenchy Gentleman Eau de Parfum Reserve. Not saying they smell the same, because they definitely do not, but that was one where you could almost look at it and be like, oh, okay, what could be so special about this, right? What could be so different about it? It looks the same as the EDP, right? But when you start diving into a fragrance like that new Gentleman, you realize all the different facets about it, and it really becomes quite mesmerizing, quite fascinating in a way, because you're like, okay, the notes say one thing, but the scent has so much more going on. And I guess that's a lesson, right? You should only take the note breakdown with a grain of salt, realistically. It's a great starting point 99% of the time, but don't necessarily write something off because of the note breakdown. Because if I wasn't doing this channel, you know, for work and to bring you guys these reviews as soon as I can, I would probably wait on this one. I probably would, because I'm thinking, oh, it's going to be boring. But because I'm in this position where I want to get these, you know, first impressions out, and I was going to pick it up whether I was excited to or not, basically, I was forced to grab it and smell it, and I'm like, yo, this is actually really good. So it's advice to you guys, you know. And that's why I try to be as transparent with these as I can. I don't fabricate. I don't make up reactions. There's been plenty of times where I've been disappointed on first impressions, and you guys have seen those videos. But I'll tell you what, this year, between Gentleman Reserve, even the new Azarochrome EDP, and this Stronger With You Only, this year has been incredibly, incredibly strong. I mean, we have had some great releases. This is one of them. It's not going to quite take the place of Stronger With You absolutely yet, because that has a nice rum accord, which I love. But I can tell you off the first impressions here, I like Stronger With You Only more than the original. I probably like it more than Intensely as well, because that chestnut vanilla combination is super strong. And I have to say, you know, I think they outdid themselves here. I think this is a really nice flanker. It's interesting. It may not look that way, but when you smell this one, man, I'm telling you, I mean, there's something going on. And it smells great. You know, that opening is fresh. You get grapefruit. You get a nice minty kind of green geranium pop. And it's important to test this on skin because it smells very fresh in the air up top. But once you get it on skin and it can start to develop, the richness comes through, and that's where it opens up. That's where it comes to life, and that's where it smells amazing. I'm impressed. So we'll kind of run through this quickly here. In terms of seasons, I'm kind of seeing this one as a spring and fall mostly. Kind of transitional. You know, it's in the middle. Freshness, but then sweetness. So it would be a great spring scent because you have those swings, at least around here. Starts off cold in the morning, ends up, you know, summertime heat in the evening once you get really into spring almost. So kind of brings that balance for you. Same with fall in a lot of situations. Summertime, it would still be a bit too warm for me for this one. In that instance, I probably would still grab Freeze, right? And wintertime, I would probably grab Absolutely. So that's kind of where this one falls. I think it would be a great date night scent. Maybe not the best dressed up one. Still is kind of playful, right? There will be better options out there for you, but for casual spring and summer use, for maybe some playful uses as well, I think this one here would be very appealing to a lot of you, and I would encourage you to check it out once it becomes available. So that's going to do it for me, guys. That's my thoughts on Stronger With You Only by Emporio Armani. Big fan so far. I'm thinking this one is great. Even now, as it's sat down longer. Some spiciness, some richness is coming through even more. This is a winner for me. That's going to do it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you tomorrow with another one as always. Take care.